Players that ruin their career by joining Mamelodi Sundowns. Playing for a club like Mamelodi Sundowns is always a tough decision you could ever make as a professional player, and to be part of their success you will really need to perform as your very best in that process. Speaking of process, here's a vast number of players who ruin their careers by forming parts with the Brazilians. And right before we get into any of that, be sure that you comment down below guessing on who are those players that ruin their careers at Mamelodi Sundowns, and make sure that you like the video and you subscribe to the channel. In this list of players we have Emiliono Tade. Yes, we are talking about Emiliono Tade, the Argentine international who was very impactful for Auckland City from New Zealand, and that sparked up interest for Amazulu from South Africa, where he got 5 goals and 5 assists in just 17 appearances. And Sundowns took him in 2019, where he got 8 appearances and just 1 goal, and the rest of the time was spent on the bench and even got injured till he parted ways with the club. Second on the list of players who ruined their careers at Mamelodi Sundowns, we have Ricardo Costa, who was famously known to be playing under coach Kevin Hart at banched That, where he was just so good in the goalkeeping department. But on his case, it was so understandable as he had no club after banched That was sold. He was left with an option to seek for a club elsewhere, and he only managed to sign for a club he already knew he had many options as their goalies. And that was kinda like a flop for him. He could have went for other teams instead of putting himself in such environment. Third on the list we have Riyad Pittis. Now his story is kinda the same as Ricardo Costa's, only thing that he had a chance with his previous club Kaizer Chiefs and SuperSport United. Well, with Mamelodi Sundowns it was a tough battle for the number 1 jersey, as for Dennis Onyango and Kennedy Mawene they are hardly ever away on injury, plus with another quality goalkeeper Ronwen Williams on that battle. Fourth on the list of players who toyed with their careers we have George Lebese. And you would have guessed it, I know already, and I'm guessing you probably subscribed by now. And getting back to his story, we would say George really flopped, man. In his bright career he had the Chiefs, and that is so undeniably true. But at Mamelodi Sundowns he had seen a bit of time with them on the pitch with just 2 goals in 3 years. Now tell me about that. Amongst all the other players who was not very impactful for Mamelodi Sundowns is Edward Manqele, who was formerly known big at Free State Stars, having 11 goals, 7 assists in just 28 matches.